It is amazing. If you surrender your life to God, the way He safeguards you, protect you, look after you. 18th week in ordinary time, 3rd of August. Tuesday reflection. We find today how God punished Miriam and Aaron for putting the allegation over Moses because he married a pagan wife. And the Lord is saying, if there is a prophet among you, I reveal myself to him in a vision and I speak to him. I speak to him in a dream. It is not so for my servant, Moses, my trusted steward in all my household. To him I speak face to face, openly, and not in riddles, and he sees the presence of Yahweh. Why then did you not fear to speak against my servant, against Moses? My dear friends, Moses is a weak person, isn't it? But then the Lord is saying, there is no prophet humble than Moses. That fact of humility was amazing when you serve God. He hates the pride, loves the humble. The way He deals with us is amazing. Today we find life of Peter, fragile, weak, wavering person, not stable at all. Though he was named as a rock, he was shaking like anything. And Jesus, the way He deals with Peter is wonderful. The word says immediately Jesus obliged His disciples to get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side while He sent the crowd away. And having sent the people away, He went up the mountain by Himself to pray. At nightfall, He was there alone. This is exactly what we should do in imitation of Christ. We are in the people, we are for the people, but then we have to have that time only with God. In isolation, just to speak to Him. You have to steal for that time. So after praying in darkness, Jesus walks on the waters. Like Moses crossed the Red Sea, now after the multiplication of bread, Jesus is walking on the waters. So waters, normally they believed all the evil forces, devils, demons, all the dark spirits dwell in the water, dwell in the sea. So that's their understanding. So they thought all the evil forces, ghosts live there. Now Jesus is walking on the water, which means all the demonic forces, devils, demons are under His feet. The powerful presence of Yahweh, God, is there, my dear friends. So He walks on the waters after a deep prayer with the Father. This is exactly what would happen to us in prayer. We should be able to dominate the darkness in the world. It's a spiritual combat where you are called to win the battle with prayer in proper connection as the branch is connected to the vine. That's exactly your calling, my dear friends. That's exactly you are invited to do today. And the word says, when they saw Him walking on the sea, they were terrified, thinking that it was a ghost. That's exactly what the reason was. The ghost remained in the waters, in the sea. They thought so. When they saw Him walking on the sea, and they cried out in fear. But at once Jesus said to them, "Courage, be not afraid, It is I. So see the words. Courage, be not afraid. It is I. My dear friends, meanwhile the boat was very far from the land, dangerously rocked by the waves, for the wind was against it. At the daybreak only Jesus came there. So without Him, this is what is going to happen to your boat. This is what is going to happen to your life. It will be shaken with the tidings. It will be shaken with the current, wind, storm, because Jesus is not there. So the word says, be courageous, do not afraid, do not be afraid. It's me. So you are called to believe in the darkness. Believe the word. Faith is sticking to the word, isn't it? So you are called to believe the word, even though you can't see Him properly. And then Peter said, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you in the water. It's very important. Peter is asking him to command him not to walk on the waters, but to come to Him. That should be our sole motive. Not to perform miracles, not to just to walk on the waters. No, it is to come to Jesus. That we need His command, His word, His power to cling on. And the beauty of the incident, weak Peter steps into the sea and he was walking on the waters. Jesus said, come. And Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water to go to Jesus. But seeing the storm, strong wind, and was afraid and began to sink. He was distracted. Sin is hamartia. You missed the focus. You missed the eyes of Jesus, and he looked at the Goliath, the sea, the storm, and he's done. This is exactly what would happen to us. Such a weak, frail, foolish decision to look into the storm. But then immediately, Lord save me, he shouted. Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and took hold of him, saying, man of little faith, why did you doubt? And Jesus saved him. This is Peter is someone greater than Moses, isn't it? He's our first pope. How Jesus gave his hand again when he fell and fall, when he was weak, my dear friends. He's such a loving master who will help us, who will stand for us, who will be with us in our weakness when we fail and fall. Don't be afraid. As they got into the boat and wind dropped. That's the only reason how if you want to experience the serenity, calmness, you have to have Jesus in your boat. So wait until He comes to your boat without finding answers. Look into His eyes, not your own Goliaths, not on your own storms and winds. No. It is important that you look at Him strongly. The Lord who safeguarded Moses and protected him because he was humble. Peter was made humble because of his own weakness. God loved Peter so much and helped him. So He does with us also. He will never leave us because we are weak and we make mistakes. Our God is such a loving Father who will never overlook, who will never forsake us, push us away, corner us. He loves us, come what may. Believe His word. Think about it. Have a nice day. May God bless you, my dear friends.